This is the DEFCON warning system. Alert status for 1 p.m. Universal Time coordinated, Monday, the 6th of February 2026. Condition Blue DEFCON 4. There are currently no imminent nuclear threats at this time. However, there are events occurring in the world theater which require closer monitoring. Over the past week, the Islamic Republic of Iran has reiterated a firm stance on its nuclear program, asserting that it will never relinquish its right to uranium enrichment and will not negotiate restrictions on its ballistic missile program, despite ongoing diplomacy with the United States. Recent reporting confirms Tehran's refusal to make concessions on those core capabilities, stating that any talks with Washington will not include restrictions on its missile systems and that enrichment remains a sovereign right. This position reflects long-standing policy. Iran maintains that its enrichment activities are for peaceful energy and industrial purposes, while asserting compliance with the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty (NPT). The refusal to halt enrichment or negotiate missile limitations has been a major impediment in diplomacy with Washington, which seeks broader constraints as part of a comprehensive deal. Iran's leadership argues that enrichment is essential for civilian power and technological autonomy. Observers note that allowing higher degrees of enrichment without international limits increases the breakout potential, the theoretical time required to produce weapons-grade material if a state chooses to do so. While Iran officially denies weapon ambitions, the quantity and quality of enriched uranium remain points of global concern. Contrasting with its refusal to halt enrichment or negotiate missile restrictions, Iranian officials have stated a willingness to allow any verification of its nuclear facilities to prove it is not pursuing nuclear weapons. President Masoud Pezeshkian, speaking during a public anniversary event, declared Tehran ready to invite broad verification measures by international inspectors to demonstrate peaceful intent. This apparent offer marks a tactical shift, albeit without substantive change in policy, intended to reassure the international community while maintaining core capabilities. However, the specifics of this verification remain unclear, and Iran has not restored full access for the International Atomic Energy Agency to key sites that were damaged in prior conflicts. The Director General of the IAEA, Rafael Grossi, has emphasized that full and unfettered access is essential to credible verification, particularly at facilities like Natanz and Fordow, which were struck in the 2025 conflict. Without access, inspectors cannot account for all materials or verify the absence of undeclared activity. This creates a dichotomy: Iran's rhetorical openness to verification versus restricted physical access and ongoing enrichment. Verification without comprehensive access would leave significant uncertainty about actual nuclear activity. Diplomacy between Iran and the United States has entered a second round of negotiations this week in Geneva, hosted under the auspices of Oman and mediated by external diplomatic channels. These talks follow an initial indirect discussion held in February, which did not resolve key disputes. Tehran insists that negotiations must center on its right to enrichment and sanctions relief, while Washington demands verifiable constraints and broader curbs on nuclear infrastructure. Iran's foreign minister and delegation met with the IAEA director immediately prior to the talks, signaling a serious engagement on technical questions, but reaffirming a refusal to yield on core demands. Some Iranian diplomats have signaled that the ball is in America's court, indicating that Tehran is strategically waiting for Washington to offer sanctions relief in exchange for limited compliance. The U.S. side, including Secretary of State and senior envoys, has stressed that failure to reach an agreement could be destabilizing. President Donald Trump's administration has both offered diplomacy and underscored military readiness should talks collapse. Parallel to the diplomatic engagements, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has conducted naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz and adjacent waters. These exercises, occurring within the same reporting period, demonstrate Tehran's focus on strategic control of vital maritime routes. These naval maneuvers took place against a backdrop of U.S. military reinforcement in the region, including deployment of a second aircraft carrier strike group. Iranian state media highlighted the drills as tests of readiness and deterrence against perceived threats. Tensions have been further compounded by incidents at sea, including the downing of an Iranian drone by a U.S. fighter jet and alleged harassment of commercial vessels. Such encounters, while not a direct nuclear threat, contribute to a volatile regional security environment that can intersect dangerously with nuclear policy disputes. In the event of broader conflict escalation, sea lanes critical to global energy markets and military logistics could become hotspots, raising the stakes for all actors involved. The DEFCON warning system is a private intelligence organization which has monitored and assessed nuclear threats by national entities since 1984. It is not affiliated with any government agency and does not represent the alert status of any military branch. The public should make their own evaluations and not rely on the DEFCON warning system for any strategic planning. At all times, citizens are urged to learn what steps to take in the event of a nuclear attack. If this had been an actual attack, the DEFCON warning system will give radiation readings for areas that are reported to it. Your readings will vary. Official news sources will have radiation readings for your area. For immediate updates, visit www.defconwarningsystem.com. Breaking news and important information can be found on the DEFCON Warning System Community Forum and on the DEFCON Twitter feed DEFCON WS Alerts. You may also subscribe to the DEFCON Warning System mailing list. Note that Twitter updates may be subject to delays. The next scheduled update is 1 p.m., the 23rd of February 2026. Additional updates will be made as the situation warrants, with more frequent updates at higher alert levels. This concludes this report of the DEFCON Warning System.